On June 1st, 1997, the United States government's underwater listening network picked up the loudest unidentified sound ever recorded in Earth's oceans. It lasted 72 seconds. It has never been fully explained. The ocean covers 71% of the planet. At its deepest point, it goes down nearly 36,000 feet, 7 miles straight down. If you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be a mile underwater. We have better maps of the surface of Mars than we have of our own ocean floor. At 3,300 feet, sunlight disappears entirely. Below that, permanent darkness, permanent silence. A world that has existed for hundreds of millions of years without ever once being seen. In 1997, something down there made a noise, and we heard it. People always expect us Navy during the Cold War. Sound travels extraordinarily well through deep ocean water, specifically through the SOFAR channel, a layer where temperature and pressure combine to create an acoustic highway. A sound made in that channel can travel thousands of miles without losing much energy. The Navy used it to track Soviet submarines. When the Cold War ended, we repurposed it. Instead of listening for submarines, we started listening for everything else. Then June 1997 happened. The first thing that got our attention was the sheer loudness. It was detected simultaneously by hydrophones more than 3,000 miles apart. The blue whale is the loudest animal on Earth. Its call tops out around 188 decibels and can be heard 500 miles away. This sound dwarfed that. Whatever produced it was either much louder than a blue whale or much larger, or both. The frequency profile, the actual shape of the sound, that's what kept bringing me back. Geological events have a different signature. An earthquake sounds like an earthquake. The bloop had a contour. It rose. It moved with intention. That profile is consistent with biological sources, with something that has a body, producing sound physiologically. When I first looked at the spectrogram, my instinct was, that's an animal. How large would it have to be? Conservatively, multiple times larger than a blue whale, larger than any dinosaur, larger than anything in the fossil record. That is, if it's biological, which is a very large if. The internet found the bloop in the late 1990s and never let it go. Some said it was a giant squid. Some said an undiscovered species. Some said it was Cthulhu. Lovecraft had placed his fictional monster in roughly the same coordinates, which felt like either a remarkable coincidence or evidence of something. It was neither, but the obsession itself was telling. The bloop wasn't just a mystery, it was a mirror. It showed us how much we wanted there to be something down there. Something enormous, something alive, something that had simply not introduced itself yet. By 2012, we were confident enough to publish. The origin point, when we triangulated it carefully, placed it at approximately 50 degrees south, 100 degrees west, at the edge of the Antarctic convergence zone. That location, combined with a detailed analysis of the frequency profile, pointed us to something we had been underweighting. Cryoseisms, icequakes, when a section of the Antarctic ice shelf fractures and calves, when a piece breaks off and drags against the seafloor as it goes. The forces involved are almost incomprehensible. Billions of tons of ice tearing free and grinding against rock and sediment. That process generates infrasound that travels through the water column with enormous efficiency. The frequency profile of a large calving event looks biological. It has a shape, it rises and falls. In 1997, around the time we recorded The Bloop, there was significant calving activity in the Antarctic. A specific ice sheet was in the middle of a major fracturing event. When I read that analysis, my first reaction was resistance. I had spent years looking at that spectrogram, thinking, animal, the shape of it, the way it moved, and then I sat with the data for a week. The icequake hypothesis is correct. I'm convinced of that now. But here's what I keep coming back to. The reason it looked biological is that it was, in a sense, it was the planet, a living system, ice and water and pressure and gravity, doing what living systems do, moving, changing, making noise in the process. We were listening for an animal, and we found something bigger. People are sometimes disappointed when they find out what the bloop actually was. They wanted the monster. I understand that, but I've never been able to feel disappointed by the real answer. A sound so powerful it crossed 3,000 miles of open ocean, generated by a continent of ice tearing itself apart, recorded by microphones built to catch submarines, repurposed by scientists who just wanted to know what the ocean sounds like. All of those things had to happen in exactly that sequence for that 72 seconds of sound to reach us. A monster is just an animal we haven't described yet. The ice shelf is something we've been doing to the planet for 200 years, and here it is, loud enough to hear from 3,000 miles away. Maybe that's the story. NOAA still runs the hydrophone network. They are still listening. Last year, they recorded 43 events with profiles similar to the bloop. None of them made the news.